Hi, I'm Jay, Netherlands' most successful indie maker without a social following. Here for another roast, but today with the maker live in the call. So here's Vlad. Vlad, thanks for joining. So very curious how this experiment is going to work out. Can you, without spoiling too much about the project that you launched, tell a little bit about your background and your motivations for going into indie hacking and your experience, etc.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for, Jay, thanks for having me, first of all. I think, I've been a founder since I remember, so I was like doing projects for a very long time. I'm actually not that young, but I love the vibe from the indie hacking, indie maker community. I'm just, like I recently failed with a bigger project, kind of, like now trying to restart my life and everything. And it's so inspiring, like to start from scratch actually, and have this feeling, like of relearning. Because starting a startup right now is actually pretty different than 5 years ago, and totally different than 20 years ago, and so on. And even if you have this experience, you really have to relearn a lot. I think it's the best time possible to be a founder, and like being now able to work with these technologies and these tools, and like meeting so many amazing people building. I think it's amazing. So that's why.
Yeah, so very cool that you have been founding companies or for a long time. Yeah, that's I think rare and it's fun. I like it a lot to see also the older, which I count myself as well as the kind of the older people get a little bit of airtime instead of only the 20-year-olds and now 17-year-olds and 3-year-olds, etc. So it's very cool.
My sons, right? I have two sons. One is 17, one is 21.
So they're indie hacking
It
as
can
well
be.
or not yet?
Yeah, one. Yes, the older one, like 21. Like he's building his own project right now. Kind of like coding, doing kind of full stack everything. I'm yeah, very excited and proud of him. The younger one is a bit too young for this. I
Oh yeah.
think it's too early, but could be. Who knows?
Very cool. So that's then you get the indie hacking family vlogs in the future.
Family. Yeah.
So does it also mean that you have a family that the goal in general or with this specific product is to basically go full time to live off of it, or is this? So what is your goal for this specific product financially?
I I think well this one I don't know exactly, but I'm trying now to kind of formulate like a thesis of like what I want to do, because as I said, I've been in this company for 6 years or maybe more. I was like super deep into this education, right? It was actually a I started with the idea like to create a school for my kids. So I started for them. They are no longer kids now. They are kind of young adults. Also, like this motivation is no longer here. So I'm in that movie where I'm trying to discover what is next for me. It's more like I'm trying different things regarding the financial thing, because like sometimes you have to think about these things. I'm unemployable, so I don't see myself having a job, and maybe like if you this is definitely the project. This project, I'm not sure if I can live from it. Will be amazing if this can generate some cool revenue. But if it's not this project, then I need to start something else, and like ultimately like figure out a way, because for sure there is no option to get a job, right? So it will be probably another startup, if it's not this one. But I really like this idea. The problem is like it's just me so far, so we'll see.
Yeah, yeah, cool. Yeah. So, but the one of the reasons that I ask also, it's just interesting to hear everybody's different stories, how they got to this community, kind of. But also the reason to ask is when I look at these products, or basically just the landing page. To be honest, sometimes it depends. My review or my critics depends on what the goal is. If somebody spends 1 week vibe coding and he earns $1,000, maybe it's a successful product. But if the goal is to have a long term product, then of course you have to look at the long term possibilities. So I think So like I did.
With this one, actually, with this one, my experiment was because right now I'm formulating kind of like like this idea in my mind that you don't need to have employees and you can do really everything by yourself. This project was probably the first product I'm building, like from scratch by myself. No other human being helped me with anything on this. So from copy, design, positioning, coding, front and back end, APIs, everything, right? So it was built by me. It was built pretty fast, which is also like something that I was like blown away because I've been building companies like 20 years ago, and for this you will need to have a team, 5 people probably.
Yeah.
So just doing this by myself, I said like, wow, that's unbelievable what we can do. And of course I was building it for me first of all because I was like, I need a productivity system for me. I kind of like I don't like to-do list. I don't like like to have like super complicated things like OKRs and all this stuff, especially when you're a founder. So I want a simple thing. This is my North Star, and I want to track every day if I'm going towards my North Star. What I do every day, like logging my daily wins. And then having an AI that will kind of review my thing once a week, right? Having like an AI accountability partner, and it's pretty simple, right? Like I just did this for me, and I said I'm using it now, and I love it. And should I build a product? And that's kind of how everything started.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Yeah. I think that helps
yeah.
also put it in perspective. Maybe then it's like the first launch of hopefully many based on how it goes and how the successful. How it is and the feedback you get, and then at least you build something for yourself, which is always good.
It'll be a very very expensive app, right? If you build it just for me, but yeah, that's good.
Yeah, of course.
Because I worked like probably less than a month, but it was like almost like just doing this, So anyway, yeah, it's that's how I got here.
Yeah, thanks. So I think for the next part, I'm going to kind of. Ignore that you're there, but also feel free to join in if I say something that I fully misunderstand, for example, because that's the reason I thought it would be good to have the founders with me, basically, because sometimes I don't understand the problem very well, or the hypothesis, or the thought behind it. So feel free to basically add context.
Sure.
Sure thing. You can see my screen, right? So for the other launch day stuff, I start at the launch day site just because I really like to see both the name Sprint Dojo. So name, okay, I think. So normally I really enjoy names that make even more clear what it does. So in your case, if it's about North Star, which I think is a term people who this product is for will be familiar with the term North Star. So of course I wouldn't change my name immediately, but I'm personally a fan of more clear names. So not the beautiful name, because a beautiful name is for kind of huge companies that have all the marketing and they don't care. And now if you have a simple name that basically says what it does, like launch day, for example, then it doubles as marketing.
I agree with this. It's just, like the other thing added to this project is actually everything is like designed in weekly sprints, right? So everything is around like 1 week. And also I wanted for myself to shift this thinking from, like 12 months to 52 weeks a year. If you remember, I think, like some indie hackers long time ago, they said like I'm launching 12 products in a year. Now I think it's possible to think about like I'm launching 52 products in a year because I can think everything in weeks. Yep. So having a sprint of a week, this is the reason Dojo, I've been in Tokyo, and
I like
Dojo
that
is like
part.
A training,
it's always good to add something like that.
Yeah. So this is the reason I just put these two things together. It's like learn to sprint in weeks towards your North Star, powered by an AI, kind of.
Yeah, and I like the idea, because it's kind of also not a contradiction, but it puts the both parts. You have the North Star, which is a very long-term goal, and then you also want to have the continuous steps towards it. So maybe sprint, I assume from the Scrum terminology, sprint or basically the
Exactly.
general
Yeah.
sprint from running as well keeps that part into it. So that I like. And then the tagline here is weekly sprints toward your North Star. Yeah, good. I think AI holds you accountable. Also nice. One-time payment. This is also something I was really watching it in the other businesses. So it depends on. Yeah, I think it's very important to have a pricing model that makes sense for the type of product. So you have people say always do subscription, always do one-time payment, but it really depends on basically what makes sense for the user perspective, I think. So in this case,
I added here, this gamify thing like in a Japanese martial arts where you have black belts, right? So I was thinking, okay, cool, let's have a black belt. What does it mean to earn a black belt here? It means you need to ship for 100 weeks. The AI, by the way, the AI will say if you shipped or not. So it's not you. You
yeah.
cannot
Oh, that's
say I
cool. Yeah,
shipped this week.
yeah,
Only the AI. You really have to convince the AI, right? So if you shipped for 100 weeks, then you can earn the black belt, which means 100 weeks. It means like 52. It's 52 times two. It means like like almost like 2 years. And that's why I put like this price is like like, hey, if you're really committed, you pay the lifetime price, which is practically 2 years to get the black belt, right? So like these people like here to get the black belt and
yeah,
becoming some
yeah.
sort of like black belt founders. I think it's like they have a price for it. Like you can also have this kind of yearly thing because I want people to be committed, right? And there is a free version. If you just want to try, you can give it a try. You
All
have
right. Yeah,
two
yeah.
belts on
Maybe
us, so you
maybe
can
we get to
also
it to
try
give a
to see if
first
it's a
look.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's interesting to hear your perspective. And so my thought after seeing this and also hearing, of course, your explanation, and then seeing this is like you say here. It's not so much. So that's my first in impression. My first impression is that it's not so much all about the code, but also you kind of figured out a productivity system. So I think if I would uh, buy this or be interested in this, it would not so much be like, oh, this is maybe a tool that you can just basically set however you already work, but maybe you are looking for a different way to meet your goals or to be committed basically. So I think maybe that's in the vibe of this 37 signals kind of software with a big, yeah, you put your taste basically on it. So it is for people who basically have no system, I would say, more than people who already have a system. So that's something.
I think it's also for people with the system, right? Because you can simplify the system. So this has actually some research, like bad stuff behind it. Because when I started work on this, I started research, like what would be the minimum thing I can do to increase my productivity dramatically. So that like I was like trying to hack my own productivity, and then I discovered these little things, like the daily wins. So logging your daily wins is actually a hack in life, right? So just write
Yeah,
things down, like what you achieved that day, like has so many good implications in your life, and practically that's the entire product is based around this idea that you have to log your daily wins, right? And what I discovered is actually at the end of the week, the AI just taking your daily wins can extract so much information. So I didn't realize initially that, but for example, in my case right now, after 12 weeks or something, I don't know, like 15 weeks, I did a quarterly review and I asked, hey, how far, like how well I'm aligned with the North Star, or like how far off I am. And it gave me some insights that like I was blown away. Like, hey, you're super far away. You avoid this. You should do this
yeah,
more.
yeah. That kind of
And I was
stuff I
like,
can see for
wow.
you. Very cool. Yeah,
And this is only from the daily logs, and that's it. Like only from my stuff that I logged like daily. Right now, of course, you can do this by yourself. You can just write them down and then like put them in a thing, and then you ask an AI to do it. But I thought it's like much more fun. You join here, you have some third-party tool to do it for you. So
yeah, yeah. Cool. So again, it's kind of cool because I'm both. Normally, of course, I wouldn't get this full explanation of you, and I only have the site depending on how people find out about this. Maybe they find out about this through this video or through the interview with Dago. That helps a lot. But if I'm just looking for the perspective of a user finding this site, maybe on a random thing, I think because now I get more the vibe, I'm not sure where your background is, but this American style of you should almost have it's the Vlad system almost. I think that would be work very well that you show how much you achieve with it, put your face, everything, put your successes, put your story, put the research. I think that's something that would put it way more on the personal productivity that you gained and the personal story behind it, instead of now it looks like a tool. And to me, with your story, it's way more of a system with which worked for you, which you can sell. And to me that's very American because I'm European, but the system works, right? Just put your face everywhere, start doing talks, start doing all this kind of stuff, because the way you explain it to me already is very, very good. And of course then and I think also this would work best for I think most indie hackers, they kind of know AI, and they could I could do it in ChatGPT, even just log my daily stuff. So that part, and it's also cool, right? Maybe I get inspired, and then I don't buy a system, but I still learn. But I think
my older son told me that, like, my older son said that, you know what, I'm doing this by myself. I just log in. I don't pay for it. So
yeah, but then
I can see that.
Yeah, but then you should have sold it more, maybe like an info product, like a book, like a course, where it doesn't really matter the method, and now you're basically selling the tool. And I think there is an audience for which the tool is the interesting part, and you can give away the method for free by doing marketing and just sharing everything. But that's the audience that's not building it themselves. So that's a different audience than the indie hackers. And I think, yeah, there is a space for this. But then, so that would be my first thing would, yeah, you have to basically choose, I think, between either selling the method and then the tool doesn't really matter. You can almost offer it for free, or people will build their own methods or their own tools on top of it, or you build a tool and you give away the method for free.
Practically right now with this offer on it's on this, like, what's the name? It's
launch day.
It's launch time, right?
Launch day.
Yeah, launch day. Yeah, launch day. Yeah. So I think it's very similar, right? Because it's $97 lifetime. It's now you buy, because you'll have access to everything, including the articles and everything I write for it. So I guess in a way it is like this, but maybe not packaged exactly like as you said, right? So.
Yeah, is there? So I cannot see from the outside. Is there also like a guide or does it all? Maybe it all.
There should be. If you scroll down, it should be a demo. It should be a demo. If you scroll,
is it just start your first sprint or the?
But it should be a video demo. If you scroll even more, oh, it's too, no, even more.
All right. Yeah.
I'm explaining this like in 2 minutes, kind of, like how it works, and you can see what's inside. So
I'm not going to play with audio because it gets too confusing, but I'll...
No, but yeah, you can play, you can move to, this, for example, this is the...
Looks very good, by the way. So it's something I always say, because I always mean it, and I'm not good at making something beautiful. I'm not good at making web stuff. So I always very easily impressed, but it looks far more than enough. So people spend way too much time, I think. If you
had... right, it's just... Yeah, like thanks to other people who build all this stuff before. I'm just using the CN and React, and it's a beautiful dashboard, right? Practically, but yeah, I kind of like put all things together nicely here. You see, if you look at inside, the first thing in kind of like in front of your eyes is like your North Star, because it's very easy to forget about it. Right, so you have the North Star here, and then you have like the metrics that will kind of help you too.
Yeah.
And then of course you have the weeks, like left this year to do the stuff, right? So simple interface, I think,
Yeah, that looks good, and I would show that way. So Yeah, that's what
Maybe
I
it
would
should
say.
be
It should show that way earlier, but it depends on how the person gets here. So also, I often watch this. Is this the same video? I think so, right?
the same video, same video. Yeah,
Yeah,
same video.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that I really like these quick demos that I assume Dago forces you to make, because sometimes I don't get the launch, the landing page at all, and the
All of it.
video is really really clear. So
Yeah, me too. I actually watch all the videos from its launch day from this cohort, and indeed, it's like super useful because you can understand much better. You know, like sometimes landing pages, you know, like it's hard, especially if you do everything. It's really hard to express exactly what it is. So sometimes you have some great products with crappy landing pages, and I guess
yeah,
that's what you're trying to discover here, right, with the roasting part.
yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
that's
I'm not here because to be honest, my landing page for my product is very weak. If you put it out of context, so it also depends on the whole trajectory of where so what do you assume that the user or the potential user already knows? So if somebody comes from a video that they watch where you explain your system, which has 100,000 views because you really well explain how much efficient you got, etc., etc., they'll just Google Sprint Dojo, and then click, 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 and they go. But if they have zero information, then of course, yeah, it would help to be way more specific to what you do. Of course, this is very good, I think. But then you really quickly have to show the interface, basically, in my opinion, to get people very clearly knowing what they're actually buying, basically. So of course, the feeling that they buy is being more efficient to your North Star, and every marketing guru will say, well, sell the feeling, etc. And that's okay, but you also have to be very clear what you're actually buying, because yeah, in this case, the software and
it's
the
a very simple
system.
system, and it's a very
And
simple
maybe
software, right? Like it's
once you
not
look aside,
yeah.
now that I see the interface here, and you could do it with 2 or 3 screenshots, I can see, well, probably this already tutorializes itself. So you basically open it, and all the whole method explains itself. It should entice you to lock your daily wins, and go from there, basically. Of course, first figure out your North Star. So to make the video not too long, yeah. So now you see the patent pending MRR thing, which does let me. Okay, so of course it's a bit awkward with the founder looking, but this is kind of my rating, where I try to guess, basically, or the potential in its current form in MRR. Of course, this is not an MRR product, but it's more about the vibes. So I think, and then I'm going to, if you want to share, also ask you for your numbers or the ballpark figure. So I think right now this is a 1K MRR product. This is not a 0 MRR product. I think I haven't peeked, but I think you could sell 1 or 2 just from people curious to try it out. Maybe there's people, you have people who change their system every week, and they just want to look how this one works. And then next thing I always try to think is, how could you go from 1K to 10K to 100K MRR, which is the MRR part in this case, I think is hard. Well, it is not impossible to reach with this basic idea, but then that means you basically have to become like who's good, the new what's his name, the getting things done, David Allen kind of guy, and go that route. Then you could go here, but that would take a couple of years, and mostly focusing on your personal brand. I could see it work. I could, if the system is good, and then the tool is basically almost an afterthought. That would be one way, and I think the smaller step towards 10K MRR. Yeah. So not. So I think.
Give us some good predictions.
Yeah. So this is I'm trying to put my brand as a veteran indie maker who was always silent. So Nestus called me the silent assassin, I think. So this is kind of become my hobby. So maybe this is the time that if you want, you can expand something on your results and your future plans.
I think so. Right now, you're you're not roasting me for sure because like I actually said this on a tweet that I lost all my customers right before its launch day. so so I had zero MRR on the launch day, right? And well, I'm the only customer actually, and I have another friend who is using it. My older son is kind of like, yeah, maybe, but a little bit. And my younger son dropped the ball completely. So I have a couple of users who tried this, but they also like stopped on the pay thing, right? Well, I introduced this the free model kind of recently, so everything is very recent, right? So I don't have like too much history here. But yeah, I assume that 1,000 MRR actually is not, because it's complicated. Because if you sell this with $100 a year, it's $10 a month, right? So already you need 100 customers for this. If you want to make 10,000, you need 1,000 customers, right? So if you need 100,000 and so on, right? So I think in this case, the way I'm thinking about it is, like, is there a repeatable sales process, like a distribution channel? I'm not first time founder. I'm thinking first, what's the distribution channel for this? And my thinking is, could be SEO or possibly LLM kind of, like discoverability, because there is some demand on Google, like around 100,000 people searching for, like productivity systems, for, like how to stay focused, and, like things like that. So there are like 100,000 searches a month around this topic. I guess, I don't know. I'm an optimistic guy. I'm not sure. I think it's possible. As you said, right? Like 10,000, even 100,000. Maybe even faster if you have, like a more experience. I did SEO a long time ago, so I have to relearn everything.
Yeah.
With the SEO stuff. But that's my strategy
SEO
right
is
now.
slow,
Mainly SEO. Yeah, mainly SEO, and hopefully the product will be good. People will start inviting other people, right? So. Because it's impossible just me to be so excited about this. I'm a special guy, but not that special. So I think there are more people that they want like an easy productivity system that like keeps you on track with something. So I hope if you're happy, then like, and then just share this with friends, and maybe I can have some referral things. I don't know, right? So but I'm much lower than that, right? So sorry to disappoint.
So maybe non-zero MRR was my guess, basically, but maybe still. So then I'm off. So I have to learn better. So a couple of thoughts on your distribution ideas. So I would, like you said, of course, it's not a roast in making people feel bad. It's more about sparring about the ideas, and I don't like to. I'm way too scared to be really harsh one to one. But I would not go with SEO. If this was my product, I would not spend a minute on SEO, because I think so. What I would do is now that we talked about this, so I wouldn't know this from the start, and I wouldn't figure this out myself. So it helps also to hear your thoughts. Is if you have the time, but I think you need the time anyway to spend the time. Is work on getting users. Doesn't matter if they're paid or free, because if even for free nobody's consistently using it, it will be tough to get actual users outside you. And then of course you could say it doesn't matter if it's a one-time product and they stop using it after a week, but it does matter if people keep using it. Like you said, there's a possible word of mouth or other virality stuff built in. So I would really try to figure out how hard it is and why people stop using it if they stop using it, or why they do not even start using it. So you also learn which kind of people are most receptive to this, And then I think with the whole belt system and the accountability part, I think there's a big value in also, if you haven't already, but at least you have to promote it a lot, to have a social aspect as well, that people can share their milestones on social media, online, etc. I think this accountability against the AI is fun, and I think for me it would be okay because I'm not really sensitive to peer pressure, but there are some communities only based around this. So I think it's the WIP, work in progress dot something, where they basically just tell, I shipped something today, I shipped something today. And then with your belts, it's kind of cool to have this gamification, but it also helps that you can share it. And of course that also helps spread the word about the product. And then for more paid promotion, I think you should go more in the productivity niche, basically. Or is it a niche? It's quite big, but still a niche, and try to make a name for yourself or for your product on communities where they're really focused on that, where people can try it out, who have tried every system. Maybe it doesn't work because they already know anything, and then you get the problem that they know better than you, or they feel the need to tell how much better they know. But still, I think it could help create a name for yourself from people who are newer, maybe, and looking out for that stuff. So that's I think the directions I would go if I had kind of
social brand or something. You build a brand around this idea, and then you just go socially, right?
I think this would work very well. So work on getting these users and work word of mouth, because I think people need to know and like the specific concept that you made with the daily wins, with the belts, with the AI roasting you maybe for not doing your work. So that has to kind of become a thing, and the way it becomes, so people will not. I think no one is waking up thinking I need a productivity system and then starts randomly. Maybe there is, but I don't think so. So people have to hear it from multiple places. Basically that's more, in my opinion, a brand building, and then also getting a hardcore user base, basically. Even of course depends on your financial situation and how much time you want to invest, and maybe you have better ideas that make money quicker or more enticing. But if you have like a couple more months of time to invest it, I think you could build it up a lot more. And then also, if you have these users, it was also easier to figure out the pricing model, I think.
Thanks for sharing this. Make me think about it. So I agree. I don't know, like that's kind of like my first thinking. With the distribution channel. But I may be off with this, and could be others. I was actually contemplating these other ideas. It's not like I was just thinking of one, and then I was just contemplating. I don't know. I think it was maybe convenience, or the fact that. You cannot do everything because you have to build a product. You have to do kind of, all this, you have to juggle all these balls. I think that one was more easier, maybe. So maybe it was just the easy choice. I don't know. I'll think about this, because right now the product, I don't want to also like to create like too many features. I want to keep it super simple.
Yeah, 100%.
Like nothing ways to maybe create some shareable things inside where you share with other people. Like that's a good idea with the like work in progress. I think I've seen them at some point. I forgot about them, but yeah, I'll check them again. Maybe there is some way to connect the dots with them. And joining some other things. I'll think. Thanks.
Yeah.
This is this is something to think about and contemplate. So good. Good thoughts here.
Very good. Yeah, thanks for being so open with your ideas and everything you explained. I think it was fun for me. So, and hopefully also for some viewers. So like and subscribe, and also I'll link your site and your Twitter as well. So give Vlad a follow and try out this Sprint Dojo system if you're looking for a productivity system.
Thank you so much. This will be on YouTube, right? Available. I can also link to my. I'll put the link to my blog on my blog.